Oh, we're recording. Okay. You guys, if I didn't record this video literally right now, it wasn't gonna get it done. Does it look like I don't have makeup on? Because I don't. Even though I wanted to. Gotta have a blanket, right? Gotta have a blanket on your lap. Glasses. This is the look, huh? These are my blue light glasses. The only thing I don't like about them, I like them, well, they need to be cleaned. But the only thing I don't like about them is that, you see that? You see that reflection? Like, it's just like, because you're not. And then I don't want you guys to see outside, so no. Let's get into it. Hey darlings, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be, as promised a month ago, what books I've read in 2020. I had a goal that I set last year to read physical books and just read more books this year. And I feel like I've done pretty well with that. I feel like this is the most I've read in a very long time. I used to say when I was a student, I was like, girl, ain't nobody got time for leisurely reading. I'm reading. I'm reading to get my degree. But then, you know, as you get used to your job and then time goes by, it's just like, I don't read enough. You know, I feel like in 2019, I have a lot of screen time. And in 2020, I tried to be intentional about literally putting my phone down and like not looking at not one screen, especially since quarantine. At one point, y'all, like literally at one point, I formed a twitch. Like my eye was twitching like crazy. And I was like, it's the screens. On top of fatigue, but screens. So let's get right into the books that I've read that have really like just empowered me, encouraged me, and that I suggest you read too if it's your cup of tea. The first book I read was Undaunted by Christine Caine. She is I know her as a pastor, like a speaker, minister person. She has a ministry. I think she's Australian or from Australia. Let me just stop giving facts and just talk about the book because. So the book was really good. It's called Undaunted and it was really talking about, child, you have a calling to fulfill. Are you ready to take the risk of moving past your past to fulfill it? Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, transparency moment. I don't really have, like, I feel like there's been challenging times in my life, like everybody's, but I don't feel like I had a past that's like a past. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I really picked up the book. The reason I ended up reading it is because I ended up reading, I think, a portion of it in the Bible app, the Devotion. Or I was either reading the Devotion for it, or I was reading, which is like an excerpt of the book. But it was either that, or I was actually reading other devotions that she has written that are excerpts from her books. And I was like, I like Christine Caine. So I was like, let me read one of her books. And then just the feeling of 2020, my word for 2020, if you want to go all the way back to the video from January for 2020, it was called 2020 Motivation. My word for 2020 was audacity. And I wanted to have the audacity to show up as the self that I have imagined in my mind forever. And so I needed to kind of let go of some fears and some, like, you know, limiting beliefs that were holding me back. So I started the year off reading that book. The next book I read was by James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits, and I mentioned this one in my last video. So good. Literally, it's talking about your habits, making small changes to form better habits and getting rid of the bad habits that you have. And it really gets into kind of like the psychology of like why we do things, why we make choices, how our environment helps us make choices, or, you know, encourages us to make choices and can discourage us from making the right choices and things like that. So it's just so good. And it really is, it's super digestible. I know it's an easy read. I mean, I read it on Audible, but it has to be an easy read physically too. And I feel that way just because of the way he narrated it, but it was so good. And I definitely think that this is a book I'm going to end up reading again. Literally talking about how you can start today with one thing and then continue that consistency and how that adds up. So it's really talking about the value of starting one thing and doing it consistently so that you can make better habits. So good. Okay, let's put my phone on do not disturb because everybody wants to disturb. We're already on book number 3, which I feel like, and this is Audible, so I mean, does it count? To me, yes, because this was still at the beginning of the year, so it was like we were still ripping and running, you know, before Miss Rona came in. Profit First. This is more of like a business book. And then I actually have this on Audible, and I listened to it on Audible, but then one of my coworker friends actually ended up giving me the physical book. Oh my gosh. Okay, so then I got the physical book, and it's really good. It's talking about how you can transform your business from a cash eating monster to a money making machine. So Profit First, like the principle, hopefully I say this right, but the principle is that like instead of making money, taking out your expenses and then having profit, his method is to make your money, take out your profit, and leave the rest for expenses. It's really good. It's not one of those books where I feel like when I read books, depending on like what the book is, if it's something that I'm trying to learn and apply, then I have to read it, pause, do, chew on it, you know, then read, and you know what I'm saying? So it's also one of those books where I feel like you have to be making money in your business. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at the beginning, when I was first reading this book, I wasn't making any money in my business like that. And then, you know, later on in the year I did. I feel like this is just something that I feel like every business owner should read and apply if you want to. I'm glad I have it in like the physical form. That way I can like mark it up, you know, make notes, all of that good stuff. Ooh, this next one, okay. The next book that I read is called You Are a Bad A at Making Money. Oh girl. It's by Jen Sincero. And she has a series of books like that You Are a Bad A Every Day, like all this other stuff. But I specifically chose this one. Again, y'all know I have Teach Speech and that's my business. So I've been reading a lot of business books. As you grow a business, as you operate a business, as you try to figure out what you're doing, there's a lot of things it reveals about yourself, about you. And so while I was growing my business and still am growing my business, I feel like I've also had to learn about myself. So some of these books are, a lot of these books are like personal development books and business books. And this was definitely one of the reasons why I read this book, because I wanted to get past some of those like limiting beliefs about money. She gets you clear on your money beliefs. She also gets you clear on why you want to make the money you make. What's the plan for the money that you want to make? Why do you want to make it? And then she kind of like pushes you past, like, get over that like guilt of making money. Get over the guilt of making a lot of money. Get over that, because why not you? You know what I'm saying? Think about all of the things that you want to do if you have the opportunity and the resources to do them, even for other people. So to me, my takeaway from this book was like, yeah, I have so many things that I would love to do had I had the resources to do them, to even bless other people with. Like, yeah, a lifestyle that I'd like to live, yes. However, there are things that I would like to do that I just don't technically have the means to do at the moment. So why wouldn't I, a person like me with the heart that I have, why wouldn't I be rich? Why shouldn't I be rich? Like, why, what's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. So like, there's different like, you know, beliefs, and it's not even talking about like the love of money, and it's not talking about like be obsessed with money and everything else. It's just really getting you past some of the like beliefs that you've developed and things that you've been taught, and it just challenges you in that area. So I really love this book. 5 out of 5. Period. After that, I began to read The Power of Focus. Now, I don't know how this looks on camera, but this is a thick book, okay? I still have not finished this book. This book is an amazing book but it's very long, 340 pages. So it's one of those books where I feel like you have to, again, I like read a book, I chew on it, I try to implement, stuff like that. So it's just taken me a while. I'm almost done though. I'm on page, I'm gonna finish it before the year is out. It's about how to hit your business, personal, and financial targets with confidence and certainty. Proven financial strategies for today's world that will give you freedom and peace of mind. How to focus on what you do best and let go of the rest. And easy to implement action steps with every chapter. And I think that's what I like the best is the action steps. And then I also liked how to focus on what you do best and let go of the rest. So you will find in my past Words of Wisdom Wednesday video, I was talking about trying to operate in my zone of genius and like really just wanting to shed the rest of the things that I'm not like, I don't want to do, and just focus on that and continue to operate in my zone of genius so I can like be hyper focused on some things. So that requires me to say no to some things. That requires me to table some ideas that I have. It requires me to do some things that, can honestly be uncomfortable in order for me to stay focused on what I know I need to be doing. Definitely has financial strategies in there, but really like personally, it has helped me say, I need to stay focused. It's helped me with like business behavior. It's helped me with mindset. So I really, really love this book. And I'm definitely gonna finish it by the end of the year. So then the next book that I read was called Believe Bigger by Marshawn Evans Daniels. And girl, if you don't know who she is, I don't know how to describe her. She's literally everything. That's what she is, everything. Believe Bigger is about resilience, reclaiming your life, and how God uses disruption to awaken something greater within. This one was right on time because this one, when I was reading this book, I was very, very frustrated. Sometimes like God will give you a vision, right? And he'll give you a glimpse of something, but it's not for that time. It's for the future, right? And so like, sometimes, I know I do, sometimes I'm like, oh, that's what we doing? Cool, let me do my part and start striving. And he's like, didn't ask you to do that. Like, don't need you to do the most. Just continue in what I have told you to do for this time. At the time that I began reading this book, I was really, really frustrated about where I felt like I should be and where I currently was or am, whatever. So I felt like I needed something, I needed to be reading something or taking in something that was reminding me that God has me on a journey and a path and not to miss what is in this moment. And reminding me too, like at some point you prayed for this. So like open up your doggone eyes and stop being a brat, and that's just to me. Anyway, I loved the book so much. And then girl, you just have to know her story. Like, you just have to know her story. And then she just had triplets, which is just like triplets, but okay, triplets. And then she just released the devotional to go along with the book. First of all, I've never in my life brought a devotional, like a devotional, like a book devotional. I've never ever bought one before. Just never really been interested. And I do devotions on my phone. So it's just like, no, not doing a physical one. When I saw this one, I was like, first of all, it's beautiful. So sorry, aesthetic, it definitely drew me. The pages are, I mean, it's just, let me make sure I ain't, okay. It's just so pretty. It's so like woman, it's me, it's everything. But it really helps you believe bigger and stop limiting yourself and stop limiting God. So love this for sure. Still working on this, of course, because I mean, it'll definitely take me into 2021 because I didn't have 100 days left in the year. So if you're gonna read the book, go ahead and get the devotion. And then the latest book that I'm reading right now, I have 55 minutes left on it. It's called Dangerous Prayers by Craig Groeschel. If you have not read the devotional on the Bible app, on YouVersion's Bible app. It's so good. And so it was literally like that devotion. I was like, I'm getting the book. So Dangerous Prayers helps you unlock your greatest potential and tackle your greatest fears by praying stronger, more passionate prayers that lead you into deeper faith. There's some prayers in here, and they're not like, it's not a book of just like prayers. So you definitely need to read the devotion so you can get a little glimpse of what it's like. But it's like, it's prayers that's like, I don't know if I'm gonna pray that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It definitely launches you into deeper faith as far as the faith that you need to pray some of the prayers that he's suggesting and why we should pray them and things like that. But it's just such a good book, and I'm really, really enjoying it. I think that's why I've read it so fast. I usually listen to Audible books like when I shower, after like my, you know, my skincare routines. I do it that way. I do it in the morning if I take walks. I'm in the car. I'll do it instead of just always listening to music, which I love, but to me, music can get repetitive sometimes. I just listen to the books and I let it kind of feed my spirit a little bit. So Dangerous Prayers is a great book. Those are all of the books that I've read so far in 2020. I feel like that's a lot of books, don't you think? 7 books this year. I'm pretty proud of myself. Next year, I would really like to read White Fragility, which I have physically. I wanna read that. I wanna read Good to Great. I have another book on my Audible. I haven't started reading yet. It's called Miracle Morning Millionaires, and it's talking about the things that millionaires do before 8 a.m. I think. So, and that is just interesting to me because it's like, that's where I want to be. So I just study the habits of people of where I want to be, and we've talked about that before. I want to read Good to Great. I definitely want to read The Big Leap. And then I also want to read The Lazy Genius, but I wonder if that's just for moms. Not sure. So we'll figure that out. But I definitely have at least 5 books that I want to read next year. I've been praying about my focus for 2021 and what that should be. And I feel like the Lord is saying something. I feel like he's speaking. So I'll share that with you guys as soon as I get some confirmation. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully you go out and read some of these books. Let me know some books that you have read this year and why you chose them, what you like about them. Give me some suggestions in the comments below. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, darlings.